You guys, we are here yet again at the end of another month, which means it's time to go over all of the books we read in November.
We are also going to go over all of the books that we want to read in December. Normally, we split those two videos up. We did just make a video going over all of the books that we want to read by the end of the year, so we didn't want it to be too repetitive. So we're just going to do both today.
We have a lot of books to get through, so we're just going to go ahead and get started with the wrap-up first.
I read All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. It feels like I read it at the beginning of the year. I just didn't connect the way that I wanted to, and I was so disappointed in it because I have read a few historical fictions and really enjoyed them. You know, when it just feels like words on a page and like you're not taking it in. That's how I felt the whole time, and I really wanted to love it because obviously the show just came out on Netflix, so I wanted to read it and then watch the show, but it wasn't happening for me. I also think I was having a hard time forming a connection with the main characters because throughout the book the chapters end so quickly and then they go to the different characters and their storyline and plotline is like completely different. Like they don't have the same things going on. It was like just jumping back and forth so quickly, and I had to like figure out, okay, wait, let me remember his storyline and let me remember her storyline. It was just a little hard for me. I'm just really glad that this wasn't my first historical fiction book, because if it was, then I probably wouldn't pick up another one again. But I know so many people love it, and I love that so many people love it. It didn't connect with me, and that's fine. I'm still very interested in watching the series on Netflix though.
The one episode I saw was so good.
I mean, Mark Ruffalo's in it, so
right.
It has to be good. I gave this a 2.5.
Moving on.
And next.
So up first I have Circe by Madeline Miller. This was actually my most recent read. I finished it last night and I ended up really loving it. In this book we are following Circe. She is the daughter of Helios, the god of the sun, and when they find out her use of witchcraft can be dangerous, she gets banished to an island. The story was tragic and sad, but it was written so beautifully. It's not a love story like the Song of Achilles was. This is very much just about Circe and her life, who she is and how she came to be who she is. Since this is somewhat of a Greek mythology retelling, there was a lot of stories and characters that went over my head just because I don't know much about Greek mythology, so I think I was lacking in that department. I think I would have appreciated this a lot more if I knew where some of those stories were coming from. Regardless though, the story was beautiful, the writing was amazing, and I really liked it. I teared up at the end. I gave it a 4.25. The only reason it wasn't a 4.5 perfect book for me was because of all the stuff that went over my head.
So I did read The Woman in Me by Britney Spears, and it was so good. I honestly didn't know if I wanted to read it, but I kept hearing so many of you guys saying that it was so good and I needed to read it, and y'all were right. It was amazing. It was so good being able to kind of see her side of things and like how her life has been and just all the things that she was going through that we like really didn't understand. She really just exposed all of the horrible things her family put her through, and it was really sad to read about, but I'm happy she was able to like stand up for herself through the book and find her own voice. So I hope she's just thriving right now and living her best life. I gave it 4 stars.
I was finally able to finish one of the series I'm in the middle of, and I read the last 2 books I had in the off-campus / Briar U series by Elle Kennedy. These are 2 intertwined series that all take place at the same university. They're each a sports romance, mainly hockey romance, and we're following this huge group of friends. Each book is about a different couple. I've loved getting to know all of them. Up first I read The Dare. We were following Taylor. She never really fit in, thought college was going to be her new start, ends up joining this sorority full of mean girls, and they dare her to go seduce the new hot hockey player, and she's surprised to find out that he not only wants to help her but wants in on the game. So there's a little bit of fake dating. I thought it was really cute. I always think that these books are solid. They're nothing life-changing, but they're enjoyable. I ended up giving it a 3-star. I liked the characters, but it wasn't my favorite book in the entire series. I then finished off everything with The Legacy. This is essentially a epilogue book to the 4 original couples in the off-campus series. I can see why this got mixed reviews because we didn't really get any type of closure or final goodbye with all these characters. It was kind of just a what are they up to right now, which I think is okay. I was told you have to read this after you finish the Briar U series, and I don't think that was necessary. I think if I would have read this right after the original 4 Briar U books, I would have felt more connected to these characters because it's been a while since I read about them, but it was okay. I gave it a 3. I'm glad to be done with this series though, and maybe now I can read like some other Elle Kennedy books.
The last book I read this month is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. I finally picked up another Mariana Zapata book. A long time ago, early in my reading journey, I did read The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, and for some reason I just didn't love it. So this was just me seeing if I would like a different book of Mariana Zapata's. This is a small town romance, single dad trope. I did end up enjoying this one more than The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, but again, there was just something about the romance specifically that I wasn't rooting for. I wasn't feeling super giddy. I should be kicking my feet up in the air, so excited and screaming and like wanting these people to be together so bad, and I never felt that way. Honestly, the main guy character in this book reminded me a lot of the guy character in The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, just kind of like grumpy and like doesn't have much of a personality. So I just never was like, oh, they need to be together. But I really did love the small town. I loved meeting all of these people, and it's like I really liked everyone. It was just the romance that I was just not feeling. The nicknames this man had for her, I just couldn't. I could not. Every single time he said a nickname, I was cringing so hard. Like I had to just keep going, keep going. So I did end up giving this one a 3.5 stars, which is better. I gave The Wall of Winnipeg and Me 3 stars, so it's a little bit of progress. I do also own Colty, so I still need to read that one, but I'm starting to think Miss Mariana Zapata just might not be for me.
So I did end up reading Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros this month. We were gifted our copies, so shout out Nikki again. Thank you so much for sending these to us. The main reason why I decided to read it was because I had put in a hold on the Libby app for the audiobook like a while back, and it was finally like my turn. They were like, you have 14 days and that's it. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and start it. I think the audiobook was required just because of all the pronunciations of everything. Definitely could have got confusing for me, so I'm glad I kind of had that to follow along with. You guys know I really wasn't a huge fan of Fourth Wing. It was a super popular fantasy romance book this year. I do love the dragon aspect, but book one just didn't click for me. I thought this one was significantly better. I just felt like book one was trying too hard to be a bunch of different stories that already existed mushed into one, and in this one the story really started becoming its own. We do get a lot more information about the world, we get a lot more explanations, and I think I just overall really enjoyed this one better. I don't think that's the popular opinion either, but I did end up giving it a 4 star. I don't really know where the story is gonna go for it to require 3 more books, but I guess we'll see.
This month we did do a whole what we read in a week video, so we're gonna go over some of those books. Up first, I do have The Right Move by Liz Tomforty, and it was so good. There's just something about this author's writing that I'm just obsessed with. This makes me feel giddy, kicking my feet up in the air, screaming, crying, throwing up, like all of the things that you want when you're reading a book, you know? So what I love about the Wind City series is that each of the books follow different sports, which is so much fun. So the first one was professional hockey, this one's professional basketball, and the next one is professional baseball, which is, it's so fun. I love this couple so much together. They were just so cute. This was the book that I even had to run to go like get a pen so I can annotate some parts, and I just don't do that. So this book definitely had me feeling something. I also really like that we got to see a lot of the first couple in this book and see like how they're doing and where they're at. And I think the author set up the next book so perfectly because now I'm ready to see what his story is about. But this one was so good. I did end up giving it a 4.75 stars.
Okay, that's the highest of the month.
I know.
So I did finally read Piranesi by Susanna Clark. We are following Piranesi himself. He's this really sweet, innocent man who is navigating his way through a world that's unlike ours. The story is told through his research notes, which I thought was really cool, and this was honestly just a super bizarre, unique story. It was definitely a dreamlike alternative reality. I thought it was super interesting. The only reason I didn't give it a higher rating was because it was so short. It didn't really give me enough time to connect with Piranesi himself, so I didn't really feel deeply connected until the very end. If I were to base my ratings of books just on the ending, I think this would have been like a perfect book, but I was trying to take into account like my whole overall experience with the story, so I did end up giving it a 3.5, but I did really enjoy it. I think it's one of the most unique ones I read all year.
Up next, I did read The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. This was actually the blind book that I was supposed to read this month, and I'm glad that I finally did because it has been sitting on my shelf for way too long. So in this one, there's a new matchmaking company that has found that you can be compatible with somebody through DNA. So our main character gives it a shot, and she finds out that she is actually completely compatible with the company's founder, which is so much fun. Like, that is such a fun, unique idea. Again, it's like the same thing. I liked everyone. I just wasn't completely loving the romance and rooting for it. I never really felt a real true connection between our love interests. I kind of felt like it was a little bit forced, and that is not like how I want to feel when I'm reading a romance book. So I did give this one a 3.5 stars. It definitely wasn't my favorite from these authors, but I am ready to read even more of their books.
If you're a Sarah J Maas hater, that's fine, but skip ahead a little bit because you're not going to want to hear me hype up this book. I I finally read A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas, and I mean, she done did it again. This is the first book in the ACOTAR spin-off series. I read the original ACOTAR books, I think a couple years ago, and I put this one off because I wanted to read Throne of Glass first. After I finished that series, I just kept putting this one off, so I knew it was time to pick it up. I'm so glad I did. This is Feyre's sister Nesta's book. We do meet Nesta in the series. We don't necessarily love her as a character. She has been through a lot. She's going through a lot of grief and trauma, and she's kind of just trying to work her way through that right now. But this is basically her redemption story. We also follow her romance, but it's mainly just about her journey to recovery, and it was beautiful. This author did a really good job with making the reader empathize with Nesta, because straight off the bat, I was on her side and I've never really liked her before this. We are introduced to some new characters in this book. I can't wait to see their spin-off books. I do still think though this could have been like 100 pages shorter if we took out half of the smut scenes. I know I hadn't read the ACOTAR books in a while, but this story was so powerful, it stuck with me. I'm gonna argue that this was the best one in the series so far.
Wow.
Until we get Az's book. Then I know that's gonna take the top spot. I ended up giving it a 4.75 star. The only reason I didn't give it a 5 was because of all the smut scenes. It was taken away from the story for me.
I also read 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I just love Holly Jackson. She really is just the queen of YA mystery. And this one we're following a group of friends who are on their way to their spring break vacation in an RV. Eventually the RV breaks down and only 5 of them survive. I really enjoyed this one. I thought the ending was crazy. There were so many different twists that I really didn't see coming, and I love when a book can do that to me. I did give this one a 4 stars, so highly recommend if you need a YA mystery in your life right now.
So up next, we both read Legends and Lattes this month by Travis Baldree. This was a super cozy, low-stakes fantasy read. It's essentially about an orc who retires from battle, and she decides she wants to make a coffee shop in a town that has never been introduced to coffee before. So I thought it was interesting. It's definitely more about her journey in getting the coffee shop up and running and all the people she meets on the way. I think I needed just a little more plot. I mean, I knew it was low stakes, but I don't think we're low stakes people. If you want a good vibe story, a little cozy bakery type of setting, this is it. I thought it was gonna be something I would like. It was okay. I think I gave it a 3.
Yeah, like going into it, we knew it was gonna be low stakes, but I just didn't understand that it was gonna be like that low of a stake. The characters were so cute and likable. Like, I loved everybody, but I just wanted a little bit more of the story. I did give it a 3.5.
I can see why it's so popular though. Let us know if you've read the prequel and if you think that one's worth picking up as well.
Up next, we have our Literal Besties Book Club book, Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murders by Jessie Q. Satanto. In this one, we're following an elderly, lonely woman. One day this guy is murdered in her tea house, and she is determined to get to the bottom of it and figure out what's happened by herself. I really enjoyed it. It's such a cute, cozy, fun mystery. The found family was just everything to me, and I thought the little descriptions of like the times when they were eating food and she was like cooking for the found family, I thought it was also cute. I was able to guess what was going to happen in the end early on, but there was a little twist added to it that I didn't see coming, so I really did like that as well. I know this is the author for Dial A4 Aunties, and I definitely want to read that next. I ended up giving it a 4 star.
I really liked it as well. I did not predict the ending. It completely caught me off guard, and I like the fact that the found family stemmed from her list of suspects. I just thought it was so funny. She was like a super cute, quirky character to read about, and she kept things really light. I thought it was cute, but it wasn't a book that I think I would have picked for myself if it wasn't for the book club. I did enjoy reading it with everyone though. I think I ended up giving it a 3.25.
And the last one that I sadly did not finish this month is Some Kind of Perfect by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I am struggling, but I am making my way through it.
That's all that matters.
I'm hoping I will be done with this by the end of the year.
So that was everything we read in November. We're now gonna move into all the books we want to read in December. This is the last month of the year, so pretty much anything that we want to read has to be done this month. The pressure's on a little bit. I strayed a little bit from the cart that we made in that last video, but I think we've got some good picks here.
By the end of the year, I have to read Powerless by Lauren Roberts. It's past due. I feel so left out. Everybody and their mom is talking about it. I don't really know too much about it. I kind of forgot what it's about, so I'm just ready to just jump into it, see what's gonna happen, and hopefully love it as much as everyone else. I do plan on tabbing this one since the second book doesn't come out till May of next year, and I don't really tab books normally, so we'll see how that goes.
You guys know that I've been trying to work my way through the Zodiac Academy series by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. This is book 7. Book 6 was a 5-star read for me, so I'm thinking it can can only get better from here. I've got book 7, book 8, and book 8.5. I'm not gonna pressure myself to finish all of them by the end of the year, but if I can at least get this one done, I'll be happy. I know book 9, the final book, comes out early next year, so this is a series I do want to start working my way towards finishing. I really love this one. It's kind of like a dark romance adult Harry Potter series. I know it gets a lot of hate, but I really love them. I fly through them even though they're super huge, so I'm excited for it. I'm ready to get back into this story with these characters. Things left off in a really dire situation though in the last book, so I'm kind of scared going into it, but I'm excited to reach the end of this series.
Two romances that I definitely want to read by the end of the year is Caught Up by Liz Tom 40. I just talked about how much I absolutely love this author, and this one we're following a professional baseball player, and he needs help finding someone to babysit his kid. He keeps firing all of these different nannies, and then finally his baseball coach is like, my daughter is gonna babysit your kids, and he can't fire his coach's daughter. So it's gonna be a good time. I mean, professional baseball and coach's daughter. I believe the next book is coming out pretty early next year, but this one has been out for a while, so I need to read it already. I also have Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is the second book in the Maple Hill series. I really enjoyed the first one. I liked all of the characters, so I'm ready to see what this couple is going to be about, and I know this one follows like a summer camp, which I think is so fun, so hopefully I can read this one by the end of the month.
My next one's funny because I didn't even include it in the all the books I want to read by the end of the year video, but I realized that it is something I need to finish simply because I'm already forgetting books 1 and 2, and it is the Dark Side series by Christy Cunning. This is a pen name for the late C.M. Owens. I absolutely loved the Mind F series, loved the first 2 books in this series. This is like a paranormal romance. We're following this ghost girl. She kind of just exists in this empty void, and the only thing she can see are these 4 guys. She's kind of just trying to piece together who she is, what happened to her, what her connection is with these people, and why they're the only thing tethering her to existence. I'm loving it so far. It's super entertaining. It is super spicy. It's reverse harem, and of course we have this big mystery at the center of it. Each book in the series is super short. They're only about 200 pages long, but I think because of that I flew through them and I'm already forgetting who is who. I'm forgetting the storyline, and I don't want to forget everything before I finish the series. So I ordered books 3 and 4. I'm using 1 and 2 as my prop for today, but I'm excited to finish it. I'm ready to see where it goes. It's a super fun series. I highly recommend.
Up next, I do have The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. It is ridiculous that I haven't read this yet. I absolutely loved The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, so I've just been waiting to read another one of her books, and I've been slowly collecting multiple of her books, so I need to get through some of them. I know this one is like one of her most popular books, and so many of you guys are saying that I'm going to love it, so it needs to be done by the end of the year.
A while back, I said I wanted to read another Otessa Moshfegh book, so I picked Aline since it does take place around Christmas time. This author's writing is honestly just so special. I read My Year of Rest and Relaxation and love the concept, love the writing, love the tone of the book, so I'm excited for this one. It is a literary fiction, but also like a psychological thriller, I think. I think the fact that it takes place in December will be perfect, and I know the movie adaptation with Anne Hathaway is dropping soon, and that's something I want to watch, so I definitely have to read this first.
I do have The Toll by Neil Schusterman. This is the next book that I need to read in the Scythe series. I can't believe I haven't even finished this yet. I've loved every single book that I've read in this series so far. I think I'm just really scared and intimidated of the size of this. They are YA books, so it goes really fast.
A book I just recently got and immediately added it to my immediate TBR is Nightbane by Alex Astor. This is the sequel to Lightlark, which I really loved. It's a fun YA fantasy. Lightlark had a really cool concept. I remember loving the book, so I'm hoping I'm gonna love this just as much. I might need a little refresher though. I feel like I'm kind of forgetting things that happened in book 1, but I'm ready to get back into the story and see where it goes. I know that the movie's gonna come out soon.
Since you love this one so much this month, you have influenced me to read it by the end of the year, and it's A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. It's been sitting on my shelf for way too long. I went through so much to get this copy. Since I bought the box set when this book came out, it didn't fit mine, so I had to go and get the UK version, so it's like silly that I went through all that and haven't even read it yet. I am a little worried though, because it has been years since I've read the rest of the series, so I'm probably going to have to watch some kind of refresher, just so I'm going into this one knowing exactly what's happening.
A book that I've been telling myself I was gonna read the past few Decembers is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This is like a really cool Russian fantasy folklore type of book that takes place in the winter. It's going to be perfect for this month. I did not know there was a sequel, but I'm interested to get into it. I think I'll like it. I've heard great things. This should be like a really cozy winter book.
Next I have Saints by Adrienne Young. This one was one of my most anticipated releases for the year, and it's still here. unread. The Fable duology is one of my absolute favorites. This is the prequel following our main character's dad, and he is such an interesting character in the duology, so I'm ready to see what her parents' story is about. I think that's so cute. Hopefully I can get to it by the end of the year.
A Christmas book I started last year but never finished is The Plight Before Christmas by Kate Stewart. This is the one that was the unexpected romantic dramedy. Loved it. We included it in our cozy book recs, and it was super fun. I don't have too much left. I want to finish it. Our copies were gifted to us. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for sending it to us. I was loving it. You really liked it.
I did really like it.
So it's one I need to finish.
Next, we both have 8 Perfect Hours by Leah Lewis. We actually got this a while ago in one of our book outlet orders. We both thought this one sounded so cute. It says, when perfect strangers Noelle and Sam meet by chance during a blizzard and spend one perfect evening together, they think they'll never see each other again, but fate seems to have different plans.
I think this one will be a really cute one. It's giving Hallmark. It'll be perfect to read closer to Christmas. So we've come to the end of our blind book cart. These are the last 2 books we have. There's no need to draw any numbers. This is what we're opening. I've got number 3 left.
That is crazy.
I know.
We had a whole cart filled of 12 books, and now we're at the last one.
This is sad.
Can you see it?
I did just see it. We need to use thicker paper. I just saw the title. But you guys are going to be excited for me. It is All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody and Kristen Lynn Herman.
Start another series.
Oh my gosh, no, this is one that I have been wanting to read. This is just not the month for it, but I'm going to read it because I haven't read the past 2 months blind book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
This is the one with the tournament. They have 7 new champions. The prize is like ultimate power or something, but I've heard great things. I know the sequel is out. They might even have a 3rd, I don't know. I'm gonna read it, you guys. This might be one of the first ones I read of the month, just to make sure I lock it down and finish it.
Next year when we do this, you have to pick like standalones or something.
I know, it's my fault. It's because I own so many books in series, but I am excited for this one. Let me know if you've read it and your thoughts on it. Hype me up for this series.
Let's see.
That's the paper I need to use, the thick one.
Ooh,
okay.
The Light We Lost by Jill Santopolo. Honestly, I forgot that I even own this book.
That's a good winter one, I think.
I'm gonna read the back because I actually don't even remember what this is. It says he was the first person to inspire her, to move her, to truly understand her. Was he meant to be the last? Y'all are gonna break my heart, huh?
You needed a sad book, I guess, this
I
one.
guess I did. Lucy is faced with a life-altering choice, but before she can make her decision, she must start her story, their story, at the very beginning. Y'all are gonna make me cry. I already know it.
That's too much. You picked the sad books.
I do love sad books though. I'm hoping this is going to be an unexpected new favorite or 5-star read, so we will see.
That's pretty much it, you guys. All the books we read this month and all the books we want to read next month. We of course have our book club book as well. This is our plan for the rest of the year. Insane that this is going to be the last month. We have a lot of really fun and exciting videos for December. We feel bad we couldn't do the live reading sprint this month, but don't worry, we're making it up because you're gonna get a dozen more videos than normal.
Whoa.
Any guesses? Let us know.
That's pretty much it for today's video. Let us know what you guys are most interested in reading by the end of the year.
Another reminder to join our book club if you haven't already. Also make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We will see you guys next time.
I wore black pants.
Actually, we're matching.
Wow.
You got a little, we both have a black little zip up here.
And just all the things that she was going through that we like really didn't understand. He's like, oh, buddy.
Buddy is ridiculous.
Like, she is not a 12-year-old boy, you know?
Don't call me kid. Don't call me buddy.
But it's so annoying because then she's like, oh, Angel. And she's like, why does he keep confusing my name? My name is not Angel. So this book definitely had me feeling some things. It's raining.
Oh no.
We might have a tornado.
Maybe, we'll see.
This was actually my blind.
Ah, I didn't read mine. I couldn't.
But what was yours?
It was the Demon King. That's the start of a whole new fantasy series, like a 7-book series. I was like, I didn't read mine last month either.
Why'd you put it in there? You're silly. This was actually the blind book that I picked in the TBR. Oh my god, it's raining so hard. Now I'm just scared that I'm just gonna see a tornado come. You have alerts on, right? Because I turned mine off.
I don't know. I'm like, it's probably coming now.
How will we know? No one's home.
We'll know.
If you hear a train.
Yeah. We'll go to the downstairs. too. I heard something.
Oh, wait, we're both like, it's because it's raining so hard.
We're good. It's fine.
We'll take y'all with us if we get a tornado.
I'm ready for it.
Are you ready for it?